There are over 1,000 different Pokemon. While some are objectively better than others, I'm on a quest to find which ones are the best. I'll be going through every generation, finding the best Pokemon of every typing. Hi, my name's Logan, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be starting off where the land of pocket monsters began, Kanto. Okay, so this is the chart that we're going to be using to pick our favorite Pokemon. And if you haven't seen this before, then I'll give you a rundown here. So on the left has all of the Pokemon generations 1 through 9. And at the top here, it has all of the Pokemon types. And it works like a grid format. So in each one of these boxes, you click on it and it'll give you all of the available Pokemon of that type in that generation. And it'll eventually fill all the way up through all of the Pokemon for every single generation that I like, and eventually we'll have a full grid. So a few ground rules here is that I will not be picking any legendaries. I will not be duplicating any Pokemon. So if a Pokemon has a dual type, I can only pick it for one of those types and I can't for the other. And yeah, those are the only two ground rules. Also over here, we have starters, so you'll be able to pick your favorite starter. There's a column for that. A column for favorite gimmick form, so those are like Gigantamax, Dynamax, Mega Evolutions, etc. And you have your legends column, so all the legendaries of that type. I obviously will be picking a legendary for that column. And then at the end, it'll have all of the ones that you've chosen, and you get to pick your entire favorite. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this. Also, before I start, if you want to play along too, then the URL is right up here at the top, and I'll also have it linked in the description below. Hey, just wanted to interrupt your video to remind you that if you're enjoying the content and you like the video, then go ahead and think about hitting that subscribe button. It's easy, it's free, and it really helps me out a lot while I'm trying to grow this channel. I would really appreciate it a lot, and I thank you all that have subscribed to me already. Now, back to the video. Okay, so let's get started. Normal type Gen 1. So click on it, and this will give you all of the normal types in Generation 1 that you can pick from. Okay, so looking at this, okay, there's a lot here that I like. I like the concept of Eevee. I like what Eevee does, but Eevee itself is, not worthy. It doesn't stand a chance with some of these other heavy hitters. So my top are probably Kangaskhan. I really like Kangaskhan a lot. Tauros, Ditto are three really, really high contenders. But if you talk about Gen 1 normal types, then there's one king, and it's got to be Snorlax. He's just a big sleepy boy. It's got to be Snorlax. Okay, fire types. See, I know what you guys are expecting me to pick, and I know what you want me to pick. No. No. It's Arcanine. So, as a dog dad myself, I love the idea of a fire dog. It's so cool. So Growlithe, I actually have two corgis. So Growlithe sort of fits that mold a little bit better, but Arcanine is so cool, and I've always wanted an Arcanine so much, and it's a Pokemon that isn't easy to get in the Pokemon games, so he's kind of elusive a little bit, which makes it a little bit of like a mysterious Pokemon, which elevates it even up higher for me. I'll let you know that I really, really do not like Charizard a lot. I think a lot of that comes from how overhyped he is. I think he is the worst designed starter out of Gen 1. I think he has the laziest design, and people just are so overhyped of this guy, man. If he's your favorite Pokemon, it has to be out of nostalgia, and if it's not, then grow up. Like, that's the only way you can really like Charizard over the other two. Okay, water type. Yeah, Gen 1 has a lot of water types for sure. A lot of really good water types, actually. The Psyduck, the Poliwhirl line. Wow, Krabby. Vaporeon, probably my favorite evolution from Gen 1. Even the Krabby line is so cool. Gyarados, from doing Nuzlocke recently a lot more. I've learned how good Gyarados is and how essential he is, um, which makes me really really like him a lot. But I think my favorite water type is Slowbro. He it's got to be Slowbro. I mean, he's just a stupid doofus looking boy. He's so cute. I want one so bad. I love him. Okay, grass types. This one, okay, this one is a no-brainer for me. I already know who it is, but I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of theatrics here. I like Tangela a lot. I really, 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 really do. Um, I like Executor a lot, but when it comes to favorite grass type from Generation 1, it is Venusaur. He is the best starter, and I repeat, he is the best starter. I don't care what anyone says, he is the best designed starter from Gen 1. And it's just a shame how he gets so overshadowed by Charizard and Blastoise. I mean, I like Blastoise a lot too, but Charizard just makes no sense to me. I really, really, really hate how he gets so disrespected from those other two. Okay, electric type. So this is actually a similar scenario. Raichu is my favorite electric type from Gen 1. And it's a shame that he gets so overshadowed by Pikachu because of being the mascot. But Raichu is so cool. His shiny is... I got a shiny in one of my recent playthroughs, and it's just so cute. I really, really, really like Raichu a lot. Jolteon's also cool. Electabuzz is cool. Also, Voltorb is a phenomenal Pokemon. I like the idea of like Pokemon's, like item monster. Like in most games, like Skyrim and all those fantasy games, there's items that are secretly monsters, like chests or books or things like that. And this is Pokemon's version of it, and I think I really like it. And people hate this, but I think it's really cool. Okay, the ice types. Wow. Okay, okay. So I can't pick Articuno. Yeah. It's got to be Lapras, but I got to be honest, that's really low hanging fruit compared to the competition. So, yeah, Lapras. But I mean, don't get a big head, buddy. Lapras is cool, but it really wasn't a competition. Fighting type. Of these, Hitmonlee's pretty cool designed. Machamp is, kind of one of those standard nostalgic Gen 1ers, but I think Poliwrath is probably my favorite fighting type. Again, doing Nuzlocke, I've learned how good this Pokemon is and have used him a lot more. And so I just have grown a really, really, really big appreciation for him. Okay, poison types. Oh wow, a lot of poison types as well. You have most of the bugs. Okay. Looking at this, Gengar is obviously phenomenal, but I think I'm gonna save him for Ghost. I really like the Wheezing line, Wheezing and Coughing. I know that's not really popular. The Muck line's pretty cool. Yeah. So Nidoking, yeah, I mean he's got the king in his name for a reason. Uh, and Tentacruel. I really love Tentacruel, that line. This is another one that I've grown to love Nuzlocking and playing Pokemon a little bit as I'm older and understanding how powerful Pokemon actually are. It's probably between Nidoking and Tentacruel, and which Pokemon I would rather have on my team. I often think of which Pokemon I would want to have in real life as a basis for this, because that's just kind of all what it's about, is you putting yourself into this world and wanting what Pokemon you would want most, and I think it's Tentacruel. Yeah, and I actually recently learned this is a jellyfish and not like an octopus or a squid, so that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that. Let me know if you've known that. So let's keep going. Ground. Who's my favorite ground type? Nidoking's back. Nidoking, could pick him, But Golem is, when I was growing up, Golem was like the Pokemon I thought was the absolute coolest Pokemon ever. And it was so unfortunate because in the games you couldn't get it. You had to evolve it by trading, and so I never ever had a Golem, and it was one of the like saddest things, honestly. Sandslash is also really 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 cool, and Cubone is adorably cute. I like Cubone more than I like Marowak. But I wish they didn't have Marowak, so that way like the theory that Cubone grows up to be a Kangaskhan, um, or it's just like a little baby Kangaskhan could be true. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Golem just because as a kid I could never have one, so I'm gonna pick him here. Flying type, not you. So flying types, so Gyarados is back. I really really like Gyarados. Scyther, but not gonna, might probably save that for Bug. If not, if we can go back and maybe switch some around if some are really calling our names. Aerodactyl is one of my favorites, and also another unpopular opinion. The Doduo line is one that I very much like a lot. Dodrio is really fast, hits really hard, like competitively in Pokemon like Nuzlocke and playthroughs. Like it's a really good Pokemon, and I think it's often um, overlooked by probably these three bozos. So I'm gonna pick it. I'm gonna give it some respect. Let's go into Psychic. Psychic. So like I said with dupes, I can't pick Slowbro. Alakazam is probably the first thing you think of when you think of Gen 1 Psychic types, and for good reason. It's really cool. It is the best Psychic type in the game. Really, really, really powerful. One of the most powerful Pokemon in the game for sure. And Starmie and Exeggutor are here. Wow. So I think with Starmie, I like Starmie as a water type, not so much as a psychic type. And then so it'll obviously come down to these two. And oh man, I just think I like the derpy Pokemon, the ones that look kind of dumb. And I think this Pokemon is so cool. And which one I would want? I would want him. I would want an Exeggutor. He's probably not like the best Pokemon, like the strongest, because he's probably got a lot of weaknesses. So he does have a lot of weaknesses, but he is designed so cool, and I think he's the best. Okay, the bugs. People hate on the bug type Pokemon from Gen 1, but I think they're all really really good. Um, they're all simple, but they work effectively. Like even like the Butterfree line and the Beedrill line, I think they're all really cool. And I also like these two Pokemon a lot. I don't. I think they're cool. I think they're designed well. But there is no choice but Scyther. He's so cool. You can't really like you could have picked a lot of different things here, but Scyther is just so cool that like it's just not fair almost, it puts the other bugs to shame, but it shouldn't. Okay, rock types. Can't pick Golem. Rhyhorn, Onyx. I always thought Onyx was so annoying because he's so fast for whatever stupid reason, but he has a worse attack stat than Oddish does. Like he's just such an annoying Pokemon to deal with. I do like Geodude. I don't like Graveler very much, but I think the two here that I like the most are Aerodactyl and Kabutops. And I, similar to Starmie, I think I like Aerodactyl as like a flying type because that's what he does. That's what he's kind of known for, being like pterodactyl in the air. So I'm gonna go with the Rock Scyther, the ancient Rock Scyther in Kabutops. He also has his little scissor hands, which are really cool. Ghost, so it's gonna be Gengar, but I want it to be known that Haunter is also really, 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 really cool. And similarly, Gengar was like my favorite Pokemon for the longest time, and it sucked because I could never have one. So I always had a Haunter because I could never trade to get a Gengar, which is one of the dumbest things that they ever have done. But whatever. So Gengar is our Ghost type, but I really love Haunter, and I have a lot of nostalgia for Haunter. Dragon. I mean, it could be said that Dragonair. Dragonair is a good pick here, but it's got to be Dragonite. He's so funny. He is also kind of on that that dumb looking train. Dark type. Okay, yeah. So there was no Dark type in Gen 1. So they've given us Missing No. They've given us the Marowak Ghost in the tower in Lavender Town. They've given us a dead Aerodactyl and a dead Kabutops. And then, is that another Missing No or something? I have no idea what that is. I'm just going to pick that and move on. Steel. Okay, yeah, perfect. So, I like Magnemite a lot. I think he's a really, he kind of embodies like an electric steel type. I guess it could be said, oh, if you like Magnemite, then you love Magneton because it's 3 Magnemites. And you know what? I think that's actually really lazy design. So I'm going to go with Magnemite because Magneton is lazy, and we're not going to promote that. So on to Fairy. Okay. So we have 2 here that are solid that I really like. I like Wigglytuff a lot, and I like Mr. Mime a lot. I know that's a big controversy between Pokemon fans. I might get crucified for that one. But you know what? Just to shove it to all of you guys, I'm gonna pick Mr. Mime. He is so cool. People talk about, oh, he's so creepy. He's so shut up. He's good, and we like him. Okay, and now we're getting to the final here. So, at this point, I think it's fine if we duplicate, because we're not picking types. We're just picking actual Pokemon. So, here is if you guys couldn't guess it. It is clearly Venusaur. I guess we'll get this out of the way now. Of all of the starters, okay, not those 2. Of all of the starters, let's look at their base forms: Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander. Bulbasaur is really the only one that has something else going for it, like a little bit of a gimmick, right? And it's his little bloom. His plant bloom, like onion sprout on his back. And Charmander has like a little flame, and so I guess you can kind of count that. But still, the rest of him is, if you get rid of that flame, it's just an orange little lizard, and there's not really much to him. Same with Squirtle. Squirtle has nothing going for it, just a blue turtle. And you're like, oh yeah, Logan, like Bulbasaur, if you get rid of the sprout, like he's just a green frog. Well, he's got his little spots on him, but every time through every stage, the bulb or like the gimmick like goes forward a little bit, like the flame is still there, and like yeah, the flame gets a little bit bigger, but like his bulb sprouts and grows into a tree and leaves, and it's so cool. Whilst like Blastoise at the end gets his cannons, which I do like. What does Charizard get? Wings? Like, he is so bland. He is the blandest of the 3, and it's just so awful that he gets the most love. He is the worst looking starter of the 3. And that is that on that. And enough said. So, gimmick forms. Okay, so these are like Gigantamax, Dynamax, and some Megas. You know what? And even to go back on my soapbox, Charizard Y is so cool. Like, this is a cool looking Charizard. Like, if the actual Charizard like evolved into this, and this is what it was, I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would have that same opinion about Charizard. Like this is so. I mean, this is an abomination. Charizard X is so ugly and awful, so stupid. But Charizard Y looks menacing, looks cool. Like it doesn't really have its gimmick, but like it just looks cool. Um, so looking at these, there's a few that stand out. So Snorlax is probably the coolest with um, the whole ecosystem, like on his belly. He's laying down. He's so huge in the mountain. Um, but I'm gonna pick Mega Kangaskhan because I was sad that I couldn't pick him for my normal type, and I like that the little guy comes out and the parental bond. You get to hit twice. It's a cool ability. Um, yeah, mostly just because I'm sad I couldn't have picked him for my normal type because of Snorlax, but I'm giving Kangaskhan the love that it does deserve. Okay, so legendaries. So clearly in this category, I can pick legendaries. Um, so of the three birds, Articuno is certainly my least favorite. Um, I think the other two kind of encapsulate what their typing is, and Articuno doesn't simply because only because it's blue. So like if you made this like any other color, like it would be that type. But like this looks like an electric bird. This obviously looks like a fire bird. This doesn't. The only thing that makes this an ice bird is that it's blue. So of these, I think Zapdos is probably my favorite, but it's slight with Moltres because I really like Moltres as well. Um, Mewtwo, I have a love-hate relationship with Mewtwo because I think it's so cool. But I've spent so many hours of my life shiny hunting this in games and in Pokemon Go, and I have literally never gotten that green Mewtwo, and it's just so annoying to me. Um, but oh, but Mew, you sweet thing. I think it's got to be Mew for sure. And so, to finish it all out, your favorite category gives you all of the selections you've made, the entire row. And I don't know if you guys could tell from all of my rants and everything that Venusaur is my favorite Pokemon from Generation 1. And that's probably why I have such a strong opinion on Charizard and Blastoise, but it is certainly Venusaur. Okay, so to recap, Generation 1, we have Snorlax, favorite normal type, Arcanine, favorite fire type, Slowbro, favorite water type, Venusaur, favorite grass type, Raichu, my favorite electric type, Lapras, my favorite ice type, Poliwrath, my favorite fighting, Tentacruel, favorite poison, Golem, favorite ground, Dodrio, favorite flying, Executor, favorite psychic, Scyther, favorite bug, Kabutops, favorite rock, Gengar, favorite ghost, Dragonite, favorite dragon, the Marowak ghost is my favorite dark type, Magnemite as my favorite steel, Mr. Mime as my favorite fairy, and my favorite starter is Venusaur. My favorite gimmick form is Mega Kangaskhan. My favorite legend is Mew, and my favorite Pokemon of all is Venusaur. If you made it this long through the video, thank you. I appreciate it so much. Again, make sure to hit that follow button if you really enjoyed it, and be on the lookout for Generations 2 and onward in upcoming videos. Thanks.